I'm here now with Tim DeLong, who's a graduating BFA student with an emphasis in ceramics from Dallas, Texas. So,
yes, ma'am.
Tim, welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you, thank you.
So tell me, how did you make your way from Dallas to the University of Central Arkansas to study art?
Actually, my parents retired to Hot Springs halfway through my sophomore year and kind of drug me along with them.
So you were not a freshman here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So
or actually, I was here, but I'm talking about in high school.
In high school. Okay.
Yeah, sophomore year of high school.
So how have you found the experience? What has been the rigor of your coursework here?
Really just pushing myself. I'm trying to not stay complacent, kind of get outside of my box, and that's why I've started to move through 2D and 3D work and trying to manipulate those relationships a little bit.
So who have been your major influences from the faculty?
Liz Smith, for sure. She's my ceramics professor, she's my mentor, and also my BFA advisor. So everything kind of runs through her, and she's super supportive, but she can also be super strict as well, so which is also a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So what do you plan to do after you graduate?
After graduation, I'm going to take a year to do a residency, hopefully, and then to build my portfolio a little more, and then I'm looking at grad schools to become a professor myself.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so you've got 5 pieces here.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk first about this one. I don't see the
title.
The title, yes.
This one's called Man Cub, actually. It's
Man Cub, okay.
It's kind of a play off King Louie from the Jungle Book. That's who the monkey is herself, and basically that translates to my grass is no greener, essentially. So I'm kind of playing off my antisocial tendencies and how I kind of wish that I could be more social and wish that I could be this way or that way. So that's just kind of a response to that.
So tell me about the actual making of this piece. You started with what, and then you painted, and then you added the ceramic part?
Right. Well, I had to wallpaper the panel first, and then I did the drawing on it, and then attached the sculpture, and then made sure that the drawing flowed over the sculpture well enough to where it flattened the form when you look at it from the front. So
how do you store something like this?
Carefully, and
I mean, does it come apart?
Yeah, well, I can lift that figure off of the panel, and then I'm going to have to build special boxes for each one. But yeah, shipping is going to be a nightmare should I have to go to another gallery.
And that's the idea, that you're going to exhibit these pieces somewhere else over and over.
I'm hoping to. It's actually part of the BFA track program involves professional development courses. So as part of that, we have to kind of shop ourselves around as well as our work and try and find another gallery as soon as this one comes down.
Okay. So when was this one done?
These were all actually done this year. I've been working on them for the past 8 months, but not any one of them got to completion before the other one really.
Oh, is that right?
They all just kind of.
Okay.
I've literally used up to my last minute to get them in. So.
Well, it looks great. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Now this one is.
Deliverance.
Deliverance. Tell us about that.
I had a very challenging upbringing, actually, and this pretty much speaks of my exodus and the ramifications of living in the household that I was in. So I don't want to get too into detail because it is super personal, but that's just kind of the gist of where it comes from.
Is the personal, is that good to have a personal impetus, or is it more challenging?
I would say both. I mean, I think the personal element definitely adds a weight to the work, but it's hard to talk about.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Okay. Very good. And this is watercolor?
Well, this is actually multimedia. And collage materials. I got oil, acrylic, pastels, you name it, it's on there. So.
Very good, very good. Okay, and then we're going to come over to splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs, right.
Okay.
This whole series is essentially about my childhood. So this one, my parents found Christ when I was like 11 or 12. And I wasn't really ready for that message yet. So it was kind of a point of contention for us. So that's essentially where this comes from.
And this is another multimedia
yes, ma'am.
piece. Okay. How big are these? What are the dimensions of this?
Well, this one's about 6 feet tall and roughly 4 feet wide.
And to store something like this, you can just...
That's why I do it on paper. I can roll all these up. Yeah. That's not a problem. It's going to be getting the closet
and we're going to get into
and the panel down that's going to be the issue. So, yeah, these I'm not worried about, but these are going to get into some expenses.
All right, and this looks like a closet, and it's actually called Waiting on Alfred.
Right.
Okay, so explain this. It really does look like a closet. I can tell you, it looks like my closet. So tell us what was your inspiration, and just sort of explain this one to us.
Okay, again, this is from my childhood, and like I said, it was very challenging, in which I ended up spending a lot of time grounded in my room. So this was my safe space. I would get in my closet, and I wanted to be a fighter pilot when I grew up at that point, so I was obsessed with making paper airplanes, and this is just kind of, I guess, the way I expressed that. And with the Batman mask, he was also my childhood superhero, my favorite one. And he was also this kind of orphan that got taken in by a butler, and I kind of felt like I could relate to that. So that's kind of where that ties in.
So how old is this young man?
He's 11.
11 years old.
11 years old.
And tell me about putting the things to literally make this into a closet. I think we've got clothes hanging, we've got baseballs, we've got old records, things like that. Where did is that literally your stuff?
Most of it is. I don't really have that many hanging up clothes, to be honest.
Okay.
So I actually stole some of these from my roommate now, but I just needed color in there. There are a few things in here that are actually from my childhood. I have Disney's Fantasia right here, always a classic, and then this is my actual first dictionary from when I was a kid. Okay. So I mean, there are some more personal elements in there, but
I hadn't even thought about that. You're right. You need color for something like this, and so there's the empty hanger hanging there. And tell me about building this. I mean, this is a corner of the bomb gallery. So what did you? It
was a task. I didn't quite realize that the walls weren't exactly square when I built it. So there was some finagling that had to be done. But on my breaks, I work for construction crew anyway, so I have a construction background. So
it's a good thing.
Yeah, this wasn't really that hard, but it took some adjusting to get it to.
And so you go buy a door.
Buy a door, buy all the materials, and just build a closet like I would if I was working.
And so when you do pack this one up, tell me how you're going to pack 11-year-old Tim.
Well, these strips right here actually pop out, and this is hinged so to make transport easier. So these wings will actually fold behind, and that all becomes one piece.
Okay.
And then, I mean, again, I just make a specialized box, put that in, and pack all the materials.
Very realistic.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and then finally we have 11797.
Right.
Tell us about this one.
This is my favorite piece. This is during that rough upbringing. My baby sister was born in January of '97, which is where that reference is. But she kind of taught me the meaning of life and love, where I felt like I was lacking in that area before. And also, she was born 7 weeks premature, so she was in ICU for a long time, which kind of, it also taught me about death, I guess. I learned life and love and about death. So this is just kind of commemorating that moment and like bargaining essentially with the gods for her safety. So,
how is your sister?
She's good. She's 18 now, which is unbelievable, and she's about to graduate high school. I mean, it's outrageous, but humble beginnings for sure. But
well, Tim, I'm not sure I've ever talked to a student who had whose pieces were all so personal. I think it's an exceptional series.
I appreciate that.
How does it feel to be near the end?
It's a little daunting. I mean, you got to figure out the next step, but I'm glad that I've actually taken this step.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's my first full cohesive body of work, and I think it came together pretty well.
And all of these are new. You haven't shown these anywhere else.
I've shown this one before, but I like it too much to leave it out.
Can you now? Are any of these pieces for sale?
Not currently. Okay. I'm going to try and use them to, like I said, I got to shop it around and maybe get them into another gallery, and I can't do that if it's in somebody's house.
That's right. That's right. So very good. Yeah. All right, Tim. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more in a moment.